You know, there's a race happening right now, and it's worth a cool $20 billion. But we're not talking about space travel or microchips. Nope, this is a race to predict the future itself. We're diving into prediction markets, where some of the biggest players in tech are betting fortunes to build the ultimate forecasting machine.
But what if that whole idea could be completely flipped on its head? Seriously, just imagine getting all the excitement of predicting a massive global event, but without having to risk a single penny of your own money. Just hang on to that thought, because it's right at the heart of a huge change that's happening as we speak.
All right, first things first, let's talk about the sheer scale of this thing. This isn't some niche little hobby anymore. We are talking about a market that has a $10 billion prediction of its own attached to it. The numbers here, they tell a story of absolutely explosive growth.
So Citizens Bank actually put a number on this, and it's a big one. They're projecting that this industry is on a path to rake in a staggering $10 billion in revenue every single year by 2030.
But here's the real kicker. They don't even see that massive number as the finish line. In their own words, it's just a reasonable midterm waypoint. Think about that. 10 billion is just a pit stop on the way to something way, way bigger. And you can literally see that momentum right here, in real time. The industry's revenue run rate has already jumped from around 2 billion last December to over 3 billion today. So that path to 10 billion, it's not just a forecast. It feels more like a rocket launch.
So what's fueling this fire? Well, the game itself is changing. This has moved way beyond just betting on sports. Now you've got major institutions and really savvy traders using these platforms as a totally new kind of asset class. They're hedging against real-world risks, things like inflation or the outcome of an election.
Okay, so in a space that's blowing up this fast, who's leading the pack? Right now, the market is pretty much dominated by two clear giants.
And this slide really lays out the two different flavors of leader we're seeing. On one hand, you have Kalshi, which is fully regulated here in the US, and on the other, you have the decentralized behemoth Polymarket. And get this, between the two of them, they're in talks that could push their combined value to an absolutely colossal $20 billion.
And when I say dominance, I mean it's absolute. Just look at the open interest. That's basically all the money currently sitting on the table in active predictions. Kalshi and Polymarket are at over $400 million and $360 million respectively. Their closest competitor, a mere $36 million. I mean, it's not even a competition. They are true giants in a field of startups.
But while these two titans are battling it out, a brand new player is walking onto the field with a completely different playbook. It's a model that's specifically designed to tackle the single biggest roadblock for new users, that fear of losing your hard-earned money.
This is the radical new concept, and it comes from a platform called Evumus Predictions. It's called no-loss staking, and the idea is actually simple but incredibly powerful. You make your prediction, but you never, ever lose your initial stake. Your principal investment is always safe.
And this creates this really fascinating gameplay loop. If you predict correctly, awesome, you get rewards, and the time your tokens are locked up goes down. But if you're wrong, your principal is still safe, it just gets locked for a longer period. So the only way to get your assets unlocked faster is to, keep playing and make more winning predictions. It's actually brilliant.
So here's the crucial point. This no-loss model isn't just some clever trick to protect users. It's kind of like a Trojan horse for a much deeper, and honestly, a potentially more revolutionary purpose.
This quote from Evumus themselves really signals the paradigm shift. I mean, think about it. In a casino, the house always wins, right? In traditional markets, you can lose everything. By taking that risk off the table, Evumus isn't just bending the rules. They're playing a totally different game.
So here it is, the real mission. Evumus is designed to be an intelligence-gathering engine. The platform's actual goal is to crowdsource a massive data set of human forecasting. Every single prediction, every win, every loss becomes another data point for training incredibly advanced AI models.
And to make sure that data stays clean and pure, AI is basically the gatekeeper at every single step. It verifies that the markets are objective and fair, it assesses and caps any risk of manipulation, and most importantly, it automatically resolves outcomes by scraping verified data sources. It completely removes human bias from the final result.
So, okay, what does all of this actually mean for us? What happens when a prediction market stops being just a financial tool and turns into a global intelligence engine?
Well, this model creates this powerful win-win-win-win-win scenario. For you, the user, you get all the thrill of forecasting without the fear of financial ruin. For creators and influencers, they can build and monetize their own communities. For brands, they get a totally safe, non-gambling way to really engage with their audience. And all of that activity fuels the main mission, generating this incredible data set to train the next generation of AI.
It really leaves us with a fascinating final question to chew on. In a world where AI is becoming more and more powerful, we've always just assumed that financial capital is king. But as we build these new systems, maybe, just maybe, the most valuable resource of all isn't what's in our bank accounts, but the incredible predictive power of our own human intuition.